Hey there! In today's video I'm going to show you exactly how to produce evergreen content that brings you in leads on a daily basis. My name is Clive Jeffrey from clivejeffrey.com, and I know that you're going to get a lot of value out of this training, so stay tuned. Create evergreen content. I'm going to go over exactly what that is and how you can use it to produce leads on a daily basis. So let's look at what content marketing actually is, and what we're going to look at this through this webinar training. We look at the importance of content marketing, what a customer avatar is and why you need one and how to go about creating one. Now, this is a point that was one of the big aha moments for me last week, because I honestly don't mind confessing that I thought the two were one and the same, that being a customer avatar and a ideal target market. But I was certainly proven wrong in that aspect, and as I say, it was a real eye-opener, light bulb moment, and it's really changed the way I think about my marketing. And hopefully as we go through this training, you'll have the same sort of light bulb moment and see how much easier it's going to make your content production once you realize and have a clear understanding of what this actually is. And then we're going to look at the different levels of market awareness and go through exactly what that is, and then types of content and common content mistakes and how to avoid them. So and then obviously what compelling content looks like, and content that converts, and that at the end of the day is what it's all about. There's no point in producing any content if it's just going to be sitting out there in oblivion and not being seen by anyone, because you might as well be at the beach or the movies if you're going to create content like that. So let's first look at the importance of content marketing. What does it do for us? First of all, it's going to build your brand, and that more than anything is what we want to go after, because you all know there's a lot of noise out there on the internet, and how you stand out from that crowd is your brand. And if you're not building a brand, then you're certainly missing out. So if you even in a home business opportunity, for example, and you are concentrating on building that business, but you're focusing on the company name itself, you're really missing out, because down the track, if anything should happen to that business or company, then you're left starting from ground zero again. So critical that you build your own brand. It establishes your authority establishes you as the authority in your niche. It's used throughout the whole sales process, and it educates and creates awareness around your product, and it helps you and upgrade your customers and upsell them into other products, and also keeps your customer retention at a much higher level, which is obviously what it's all about, because it's so much more cost effective to actually keep a customer than to try and go out and get a new one. So content use, what do you use the content for? As I say, we covered it a little bit there, but we're going to use it to raise awareness of any problems that they are having, and that by they I mean your target market. It's also going to be used to attract your audience to you by putting out, because you can't sell a secret. So if you don't have content going out on a regular basis, people aren't going to know you or who you are, and so how they're going to ever buy from you. And that's what this whole process is about, because people only do business with those that they know, like, and trust. They don't like dealing with companies as such. They want to deal with people and individuals. It's going to help you acquire leads, again, because if people don't know who you are and how to get a hold of you, how are you going to do business with them? And content's going to help with the initial customer acquisition, and it's going to teach your customers how to be more successful by using your products and services. So by putting out your content, explaining how they can make better use of your products and services, or use your product to get the results that they are after, to solve the pain points that they have. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, educating your target market. So this is an interesting one too. Now, there are types of content, and this is tactical content versus strategic. And we'll go through and just look at each of those in turn. And just again, once you have an idea of this, it's again going to help you in your actual content production. So first of all, we're going to look at tactical content, and this is the likes of SEO, which is sales engine search engine optimization. We're helping the content get found online when people actually search for it on the likes of Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Then there's other strategies, other tactics like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, pay-per-click ads, and then new social media platforms, Periscope, the latest greatest course on the current lead generation strategy. And so by tactical we mean things that are dynamic and often changing. Really constantly keep up with learning the latest thing or technique, and that's what we refer to as our tactics within our content. What tactics are we going to use to get that message or content out there, and that's where you can see how that falls into that category. And the next thing obviously is the strategic content, and by that is the actual method of getting it there, like sales funnels, your actual copywriting, talking the prospect through the sales process, and then the actual creating of the content itself. And this applies across the board. It's tried and true stuff, and it's always going to be there. So it basically means that the relationship side of the content, the purpose of the content, and your copywriting, and talking on the phone with your prospect, getting them through the sales process. It's all about building that relationship, and this is the same tech or the same stuff that the guy in the corner store used to use with your family, when if you remember back when you were a kid. And I'm referring to people my age here, so if you're a young buck, you might not register as well. But remember, if you are in my sort of age bracket, you used to go into the corner store, and the owner might give you a piece of ham to try and talk to you, know all the kids in your family's names. Really strong relationship stuff, and that is timeless. It's been through the ages, so this is the part that doesn't change. So you can see the differentiation and why you need a combination of both. You need the tactical stuff, which is always going to be changing. Those things like Facebook and Instagram and the like, they may not be around in a couple of years, or they will change their format quite considerably. So there's always a learning curve to keep up with all that stuff, but the strategic stuff is stuff that you obviously need to keep working on as well, but it's building on it. It's timeless, ageless stuff. So now this is another interesting thing: the difference between the ideal customer and a customer avatar. I found this fascinating. So first we're going to look at ideal customer or prospect and the demographics. This is where you're looking at the target market's age, the gender. It may not necessarily be gender specific. It might be male and female that you're using. So, for example, if you have a weight loss product, you may be targeting both men and women. So it's very broad, but they're all you can see how it's a very broad term. The ideal target market, even though we use it to narrow things down, because obviously it's not including everyone, but you'll see as we get through this, they still have their hobbies, their likes and dislikes, and their world views, but it's still a very broad, even though, as I say, we're narrowing it down, it's still quite a broad group of people, and you can see how you can break it down within those groups. And that's even like, for example, the gender. You might be, if you're talking back to a weight loss scenario again, if you're looking at weight loss, it's going to be quite different for a weight loss, even if we're talking same sex, like say women in the ages of 25 to 35, looking at weight loss. There may be in amongst that group, there may be bodybuilders or gym junkies that are really trying to lose body fat, and the young mothers, for example, that want to lose baby fat. But they are completely different markets within that ideal customer demographic. So I hope that makes sense there. But this is where the customer avatar comes into it. this is, you choose someone based around your product, and you literally create a fictional person. So a great way to look at it is if you're writing a screenplay, for example, and you are introducing your main character. So that is your customer avatar. So your customer avatar will fall within this ideal customer grouping, but it'll be a specific person within that group. So defined, like it may be that mother that's just had a baby and wants to lose weight. But taking it even further again, um, you really want to connect with them on an emotional level. Um, we need to go deep and to get to the bottom of their irrational fears and deepest desires. And we need to try and attract if you want to try and attract everyone, you're going to end up attracting no one. So we need to figure out who their heroes are. We really want to get into their heads. So again, if you think back to creating that character for your own movie, who are their enemies? What do they want? Who do they want to please? Who are they responsible for? Do they have children? Do they have family? Who might they let down, or or if they fail, who they're going to disappoint? And what's the issues that keeps them up at night? So your customer avatar is a specific individual. So going back to that weight loss thing, if you're looking at that young mother, you're going to give her a name. So whenever you come to create your content, you're going to think that you want to be addressing it specifically to that person. So if you decide that your avatar is going to be, let's say we're talking about that young mother, let's call her Jane. We're going to give her that name. So whenever you're writing an email, or you're writing an ad, or even a Facebook post, or a Twitter post, or, you want to be writing it specifically to Jane. And that's where the difference, you can see how hopefully it's becoming clear now, the difference between the actual avatar and the ideal target market. It's that one particular person that fits within that demographic. Now, she's going to have a face. Actually, envisage what she looks like. She's going to have a specific age and a job. What does she do? Or is she a full-time mother, or she have a part-time job as well? As I say, they're going to have a specific demographic and other characteristics which make them who they are. So you want to be able to literally, when you close your eyes and get a visual representation of who you are talking to. And then, as I say, every time you come to create a piece of content, you want to be thinking of that particular person. Now, obviously, they're going to have their own specific wants and needs, and their job is going to be different. So it's take a little bit of getting your head around the fact that if I'm targeting this specific person, what about all those others I'm missing out on? But that, I want to take you back to that other point. If you're trying to market to everyone, you're going to end up marketing to no one. So you'll be surprised at how many people will have the same traits as this fictitious character that you envisage. Now you can base it on yourself, for example, and that's probably not a silly way to do it. If you think that you've had great benefit from your product, maybe it's through weight loss, let's stick with that. I just want to point out I'm not in the health and wellness industry at all, so if I'm using weird terms and everything, that's why. But if you want to think of Jane specifically in this example. What does she do for a job? What does she like? What are the TV programs she watches? What kind of ice cream does she eat? Have a very, very clear image, and take the time to actually write it down. Even go and find an image on on the net that you think that sums up how she looks, and then actually have that image there and look at it and speak to it every single time you're creating the content, and you will find that the results you'll get are so much different in a good way, because it'll resonate with people that are experiencing those same issues as Jane. So hopefully you can see now how an avatar is quite different to that ideal target market. So very, very important distinction. You can see now why I had that aha moment, because this week, it's only been a week, but I've definitely found it so much easier to create my content, because you want to have content that delivers value. And when you're thinking of supplying value to a broad market, like even though it's your ideal target market, you're going to have so much better having a clarity of mind talking to that one specific person. Because I think if you're in the home business industry, you get misled by the company itself, because they often say, "Oh, we're anyone can use our products and services." So you talk to anyone that comes in within 3 feet of you, and that's why I think there's a lot of people don't have much success with doing that kind of marketing, because not everyone is going to be interested, and clearly everyone finds it out quite rapidly. But by focusing on a specific individual like this and solving that one person's needs, you're going to by default be able to address the needs and wants of quite a large portion of your ideal target market. So fascinating point, I thought. Next point we want to cover is market awareness scale, because this again, now we know who we're actually talking to. We've got to figure out what their market awareness is. So the first stage is when they're totally unaware. The second stage is that they're problem aware, and we're going to get into each of these points individually. Third is where they're solution aware, and fourth is product aware, and fifth, most aware. So let's look at level 1, where they're unaware. This is where they're unaware that they even have a problem. They don't even know the problem exists. So they're blissfully ignorant. Examples of this where, for example, someone that's in a dead-end job, or hating life, and if no one's ever introduced them to the MLM profession and let them know that there is a way out if they're prepared to do the work and put in the time and effort to create a business of their own. So they're prepared just to plod on, do their time at their job, and come home, and they're blissfully ignorant that that's even an issue. It's just the way that their parents did it and their grandparents did it, and so they're going to do the same. Now, they're okay to going to work every day, living from paycheck to paycheck, as I covered. They're not concerned, for example, with health and weight loss issues. They always eat what their parents ate, and they all putting on weight and unhealthy cholesterol levels and things like that. But they, again, blissfully unaware. So that's level 1. Level 2 is where they are aware of the problem. So this is where they're actually aware. For example, they may be aware that they're overweight, but don't know actually what to do about it. They don't know what solutions are out there. So the process of selling to them is to connect their pain and their current situation and educate them that there is a better way. So examples of this is, if they're in an MLM or network marketing company, for example, and they don't have leads to speak to on a daily basis, so they're aware of that issue. They're aware that their friends and family don't want anything to do with them, but they don't know how to address that issue. Another one is someone that might have a skin problem, and they're certainly aware that they have a bad skin, but they don't know how to fix it. So that's level 2. So level 3 is where they're solution aware. So this is where they're aware that solutions are out there, but they don't know which solution is right for them. So this is where if you're creating content for that level, you can, for example, 7 things you need to know before you buy acne cream, for example, or 7 things you need to know before you start writing blog posts, or whatever, so to generate leads. So you can see that's a good title to get them thinking, or introduce the fact that, or remind them that they have that issue that they're aware of, and then you can start introducing that problem, the solutions to that pain. So level 4 is where they're actually product aware, and they're aware of they are aware of the product, but need to know they need to know why yours is superior to others in order to make their final decision. So it's like, how do they choose between your product A and someone else's product B, for example? So this is where your content becomes educational, so you can start educating them as to why yours is better. So they're pretty close to the buying decision. They just need a little bit of help to get over that final hurdle. And level 5 is where they're most aware. This is where they're either a previous or former customer and they're just looking to upgrade or purchase again. So, for example, if you're an iPhone person and you need to get a new phone for whatever reason, you don't need to be convinced that Apple is the way to go. You just go out and get the next version out there. So they're aware of that they have the problem, but they also know that Apple's going to keep solving that issue for them. So that's the 5 different levels. So you can see how getting all this stuff clear in our head is going to help produce content that's relevant and not just content for the sake of content. And we're creating it for our specific avatar, that one person. I'm creating it weight loss content for Jane because she's the young mother looking to lose weight after having a baby. So you can see how specific it gets, and then you can address all these issues and have content that's really going to get your message across there in the simplest and fastest way. So let's look at how the customer avatar fits into all this. The customer avatar should be at that level 2, so they're aware that they have a problem. So if we start with that image in mind in our heads, that Jane's actually aware that she's put on a bit of weight through her pregnancy, and now she's looking to want to lose that weight, and she wants to do something about it. So the majority of all your content should be written for this level 2 person, and the reason we do this is that content will still appeal to the level 3s, 4s, and 5s, because they are also obviously aware, and they'll be able to just read your content, go, yep, and agree with it, and and get value from it. And then you obviously at the end of you're going to be providing a solution, which is what days 3s, 4s, and 5s are after. You just don't have to do as much educating. The fact that you've taken the trouble to address those issues to a level 2 person, you're just going to have that much more impact on the 3s, 4s, and 5s as well. So, getting back to your job is to educate your audience and to make them better buyers and thereby making them better customers. So you can see how you can use the strategic versus the tactical marketing strategies in this. So how you can build the relationship side of things, talking to your avatar, and then get that message to them by using the strategic methods. So hopefully that's all making sense to you. If anything's unclear, then just again put your questions in the comments and in the chat box, and we'll address them at the end. So now we're going to get into looking at the different types of content that you can create to get your message across there. So we can do blog posts, videos, social media updates, even daily posting on Facebook and the like is content. It's a version of content. So everything that you do should be done specifically with a goal in mind. So posting on purpose, as they say, and addressed to your avatar. So again, podcasts is another good one, photographs, infographs, and webinars, and anything like this is going to build your awareness to your offer and to your brand, and also it's going to create increase in your web traffic, which is the whole purpose behind creating all this content. We want to be able to let our ideal customers find us so that they can get their problem solved, and obviously by doing that we stay in business. So I just want to point out too that out of all these different options here, if you're doing videos are really, really great, but what I like to do is actually incorporate them into my blog posts, because your blog is your only piece of real estate on the internet that you actually own. All the other stuff, like all the other platforms, social media platforms, not only, as we addressed earlier, they could change over time and disappear, get updated, or the new latest craze comes out and they become obsolete. Just look at FaceTime and all those types of things. There's a bunch of them that are now obsolete, virtually obsolete. So it's really important, if you haven't yet, you want to start considering getting your own blog, because you can keep your videos on your blog, And as I say, you own that blog. No one can take it away from you. No one can, like, Facebook can shut down your page or your profile. YouTube can shut down your channel. And the same with the likes of Twitter or any other social media. You don't actually own it, even though it's your channel as such. You're at the mercy of the likes of Google, who owns YouTube. If someone just has to flag you for whatever reason, it could be a competitor, for example, flags your videos, you get shut down, and that's the end of it. So you want to think long term and consider, if you haven't already, setting up a blog where you still use all those others, but your blog is the central hub, and all those others are spokes in the wheel that come to your central hub. A little bit of a digression there. Now I want to just look at the common content mistakes, and the big one is that you're talking about yourself. It must always be about them, so really, really be aware of that. Content can be too short or too long. If it is a blog post, you really want to have it, that it seems to be between 500-800 words. Anything shorter than that, it's sort of not really deemed relevant. Or if it's too long, people are pushed for time; they're not going to read it. So there's a happy medium in the middle there. So just figure it out for your people, what works, but just be aware of it, and you'll be in good stead. And another mistake is where the content doesn't uncover and address a pain. That's the whole purpose. To create and remind the prospect. We look at that that level 2 person is aware that they have a problem. But if your content doesn't address that problem, you're wasting your time. And then you don't provide value. Value is where you provide not only you educate them about how they can overcome the issue that they're having, and that there are ways and means to solve the problem that they're having. And then the other mistake is that you don't provide the actual solution, because that's what the whole purpose of your content is, to provide that solution for your target market. And there's a weak or no call to action at all, and that the call to action is essentially calling the prospect or avatar out to come and check out the solution that your product service provides, which is going to deal to their pain point that you've addressed in your content. So you can see how it all gels together, and why it's so important to build the foundations prior to starting out with your content. So really understand who we're talking to, and then the type of message that we're going to get across to them, the pain point we're going to address, how we're going to educate them to solve the problem, and then the call to action to get actually access to the solution itself. So now we've covered all that, let's look at how we actually speak to our audience. So what we want to do is use stories. Stories, just make everything easier to not only understand, but to remember, and it's really how we get them to realize that obviously we're here in the role as the educator. We've overcome this issue, or have the solution to it. So by telling a story, we can help our customer or our ideal customers realize that they too, by using our products and services, our story can become their story. So we do this by asking questions throughout our content to keep them engaged. For example, does that make sense? Much like what I've been doing through this presentation. Does it? Are you? Or another question: are you struggling with, could be weight loss? Are you struggling with acne? Really speak to them as that individual. So you're talking to Jane here. Does that make sense, Jane? Are you struggling with acne, Jane? Or are you struggling with weight loss, Jane? So really talk to them as that individual. So it's all coming back to we've been very, very specific. Even though we're looking to attract a larger audience, we're going to be treating them as an individual, and by default we're going to attract a wider audience. So it's sort of like it does take a bit of getting your head around it, but if you concentrate, and I'm sure you'll be able to see, as I say, this is where I really did get some light bulb moments. Another good question: did you know? Can you imagine? That's a great one. I love that one. Can you imagine not having to worry about your financial future? Imagine how great that must feel. Really talk to that individual. So we want to create content that's compelling and it's going to convert. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't convert, into sales, and why are we doing it? We may as well be at the beach or the movies. So there's a basic formula which is great. So if you follow this formula, it's really going to put you in good stead. So by using all the rules that we've discussed first, and then applying this formula, you're really going to notice a big improvement on the results that your content is going to get. So first of all, we've got to address that pain. Then we want to agitate the pain, twist that knife, so to speak. And then we want to share the story, feel, felt, found. And we're going to come and go over this in more detail. And then we're going to educate, provide the value, and then provide the solution. So that's the actual formula there. So if you haven't taken notes yet, then at least go ahead and take notes on these points here, and use it as a checklist basically, so that when you do create a piece of content, go through and double check if you've addressed all these points, within that piece of content. So let's look at the pains. What pains would your product and service solve? For example, what I'm going to be doing for this is MLSP, or My Lead System Pro, is a platform that I use to basically run my home business from. It's a education platform, really. It provides tools to run a home business, tools to build sales funnels, capture pages, create your own blog, and has a CRM to follow up with. So that's what I'm going to be using just to illustrate the points as we go through them here. So for example, a pain could be not getting leads. There's no support or leadership. If someone, you might have joined a home business opportunity and found that you're floundering. The person that sponsored you into it is gone quiet. You try and get them on the phone and it's crickets. There's no community. You feel like you're literally out there as the Lone Ranger trying to build a home business, and with no support whatsoever. And you have a personal brand. You're trying to push the company name and getting yourself nowhere. It could be that you're just new to online marketing with low or no tech skills. So the reason I've listed these ones is because MLSP, or My Lead System Pro, solves all these issues. So this is what as I say, can use for my demo here. The pains continue. So there's no online training for Facebook. This is just more pains that MLSP's or My Lead System Pro is going to address. You might have issues with search engine optimization, Instagram, blogging. And speaking of blogging, you might not actually even have a blog, which I alluded to before, which is your own real estate on the internet that no one can take away from you. And no CRM, which is a client relationship management tool, which you have to have regardless of what type of business you're in. Brick and mortar business needs a decent CRM to keep in contact with leads, because there's no point in generating leads if you're not going to have a way to communicate with them, keep them organized, and follow up with them on a regular basis. And you may not have any way to capture the leads in the first place. So again, all those issues can be addressed. So you get the idea. So you can go through whatever your product and service is and list the pains that you can address and help out. So if you break your product and services down like this, then you can. Do you think you'd be able to create content around some of those pains for your product that your product and service solves? I would have to say that the answer to that is very much a yes. So it's just a matter of taking the time to think clearly what issues that your product solve, and then write them down and start creating content following that formula, and you're going to have a lot of success, I'm sure. So here's an example of the content formula. So we use the formula to create content for each pain point and then map it back to a solution. So for example, if the pain is for a home business owner or network marketer, for example, that has no leads, you need to address that pain, because that's the first point. You need to agitate that pain, twist the knife, and share the story, feel, felt, found, and then educate with value, and then provide a solution. So let's have a look at that. So we address the pain. You say, you have created content now. You know what it's like to have no leads, and no one to talk to. Your friends and family are running away from you every time you show up to a family gathering. They turn and run from you. Really twist the pain. So your wife your partner keeps giving you a hard time because you're spending all this time and money on your business that's not growing anywhere, and they're calling it a scam. Really twisting that knife and making them feel the pain of not having those leads of people that want to hear from them about their business. You can literally feel them or see them squirming in their seat as they're hearing the story. And then you can say, yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way when I first got started, but then I found the solution. So you can see how you can incorporate that feel, felt, found into the story as you're addressing their pains. But it's really important that you twist that knife to really well up the feelings inside and really get them emotionally attached to the story. And and then you can be the hero riding in on the white horse to save them from it all. So then you say, that's when I found the solutions, and I started to brand myself and create content on a regular basis, and all of a sudden leads started to flow in from people who really wanted to hear from me about my business opportunity. So there I'm educating them on the value, which is providing the value to them, and then I provide the solutions. And now you can do this too by coming along and joining My Lead System Pro, and you're going to solve your problem of having no leads to talk to. So you can see how by addressing that pain, going through the formula, all the way through to the end, having a solution with a call to action, you can drive them to your product or service to solve the actual issue. So now you don't just create one piece of content like that. You can go back, we're looking at all those other issues. So I can do the same thing, use the formula on all these different issues. I don't have any Facebook training. So for SEO, I'm struggling with my search engine optimization, for example. So we can go back then and the pain point can change that to no search engine optimization skills. So we address that pain. So now I'm creating all this content, but it's not being found on the internet. So the agitator. So I'm spending I know you're spending all this time and effort writing blog posts, creating videos, and you may as well have been at the beach because no one's even responding to it. No one's even seeing it. All your videos have had no views. And then you can come on and say, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way when I first got started. But then I found, educate, value, the system that I use to run my business. And I haven't looked back. Now I'm having people watching my videos, commenting on my blog posts, and reaching out to me. And you can do it too by joining My Lead System Pro. So you can see for each of the pain points for what could be your weight loss products, and you can create and address a piece of content for, say, that young mother who's looking to lose baby fat, or to be the bodybuilder who wants to lose fat for fat of their abs for a show or competition. So you can see how the formula, if you address it, you can produce multiple pieces of content and drive them back to that one solution. So a lot of home business opportunities have multiple products, so you can do this with the multiple pieces of content for each of the different products that you have within your company. So there's an endless stream of content that you can produce. There should never be an excuse of what to produce your content on, and you can see how you can use it all to drive back to provide the solutions to your target market. So this is just what I've covered here. You can see by using the formula, you can do you actually see that you can have several pieces of content mapping back to the same offer. So don't limit yourself to just producing one piece of content and think you've got it covered, because there'll be lots of different individuals within your target market that you can provide a solution to. So capitalize on all the different pains and really expand your reach and resonate with all those different people. And it's the same simple formula that you use to do all of these. So this is a great strategy. So it's basically, again, this is a terminology from Bill Pesco-Solido, and I thought it was pretty cool. And if you're in my age demographic of a baby boomer, it'll probably ring some bells with you. You might even be pushing it a bit, but I remember it was actually my mother's loved this movie, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. But basically what the strategy is you write down, for example, whatever your business is, you pick 7 top reasons or benefits why someone should join you, use your product opportunity, primary business. So write down 7 of the benefits. Then you can create content around those 7 reasons or benefits using the formula that we've just gone through. And then the next step is to write down 7 objections that people could possibly have to prevent them from joining or buying your products or using your services. And then you create a piece of content around each one of those, overcoming and answering those objections. And just by that, you've got, that's a little typo there. You've basically got 14 pieces of content mapped back to your offer. So very, very powerful stuff indeed. So, that formula is really simple, but you can see, by having the understanding of who we're actually talking to, you can really create some engaging content that can provide value and a solution. And once you've done it once, it's going to be working for you, forever and a day if you do it right. Have it, in the search engines to be found. And if you not sure how to go about creating any content that's going to be found, then hey, I honestly suggest that you might want to have a look at giving MLSP a test drive. It certainly changed everything for my business. And if you want to do so, take a risk-free test drive of My Lead System Pro. You just go to clivejeffrey.com/trial. You can do a 10-day trial for $10, and it's absolutely risk-free. At the end of the 10 days, if you find that it's not for you, you can get your $10 back. So you've got absolutely nothing to lose at all. It's going to provide you with all the tools to literally run any business online. So brick and mortar business, maybe in real estate, it could be network marketing, it could be a mortgage broker, doesn't matter. This system will allow you to operate your business online. And as I say, you're going to get with it, you're going to get all the training on how to use all the different social media. So it's, first and foremost, it's an education platform, and it's been referred to as the Harvard of the online business profession. From there, you're going to get done-for-you sales funnels. So when you first start, you can use pre-done sales funnels that you can start using to give out value to your target audience. And then it has a funnelizer system, which is a software system that you can create customized sales funnels and capture pages, and again, for personally branded to yourself for whatever business you have. So amazing suite of tools. On top of that, they've just introduced Sites, which is a blogging platform. These blogs are absolutely amazing. A couple of clicks and you've got your blog set up. You can install your themes, come with all your different plugins. It's totally safe and secure. You own the blog. If you decide that you wanted to move away from MLSP for whatever reason, I don't know why you would, but you can take your blog with you, so no dramas there. It's yours, you own it. And then again, the CRM, the client relationship management tool. This one is one of the best I've come across. It keeps track of all your leads as they come in from your capture pages. You're able to talk to them as individuals. You can email them. You can you can phone them if you've got their phone number, and you can record messages and tasks next to that person's name. And in the future, when you call up the person's name by whatever, from their name, their phone number, or whatever, it'll bring up all past interaction right there on your dashboard, so you can follow up like a pro. So all in all, it's a really good, well-balanced, well-rounded system to operate any business online. And obviously, if you're at this webinar, you're looking to either improve the way you're operating online, and MLSP is going to do that for you. So go ahead, take a trial, as I say, absolutely risk-free. And if you do decide to do so, set up your account, get in touch with me, and I will give you one-on-one coaching, get you all set up and start getting you leads as quick as we can possibly do that. So that's it. Hopefully you've got some value tonight. Let me just stop sharing my screen here. Get rid of that. Great. thanks everyone once again. Hopefully, as I say, you got some value from that. Hopefully it all made sense. Anyone else out there have any questions? By all means, pop them into the chat bar and I will happily address those. If not, no, as I say, go ahead and trial MLSP. It's a great platform, you know, and I strongly suggest you take it for a test drive, as I say, completely risk-free. And doesn't look like any questions come through. Normally there's a bit of a delay, so I will just wait a few more seconds. And if not, we will call this a wrap. I'd also like everyone that's on here, if you haven't already, come and check me out on Facebook. Send me a message. I'd love to connect with you. And you know, if you aren't already a friend, as I say, come and connect with me, and so you'll get updated with all my posts. Get on my list, and other than that, we look forward to seeing you on Free Tuesday training next week. You know, I'm always around. I always tell people, you know, I'm a real person, so don't hesitate to ask any questions. There's no such thing as a silly question. It's well, the only one is the one that wasn't asked, as they say. So thanks again, everyone, for coming along tonight. Hopefully you got value, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you.